friends, it's Nicole with So Much More, and I am live today from my studio. I wanted to come on and say Happy New Year and to share a little bit about a few things I have coming on right now, what's going on now, and some things that are coming up. So let's first talk about this quilt that is right behind me. This is, I finally found it. I sent a newsletter last week that said, where did I put that quilt? Because I literally thought, you know, if I can't find it, then I must have given it away. But I didn't give it away. It's right here. It was right next to this other quilt that I found just a few minutes ago. So I've hung it up. It's hanging up on the wall now. And this quilt was made with a series of a very simple quilt block. And I used my Hugs and Kisses quilt block pattern in order to make this quilt. I didn't have an entire quilt pattern to make this quilt. It's just a simple quilt block made over and over. And so as you can see, there is the Hugs and then the Kisses quilt block, and they're all made exactly the same way. The only difference is how you lay them out. And I share that in my video. I'll link that in the description once we're finished with our live here together. So this is a really fun quilt. It came together quickly. I used a series of fat quarter bundles and, well, one fat quarter bundles and then a bunch of solids that I just had. Some scraps. You know, it's a great scrappy, fun project. Perfect for Valentine's Day. So that's really fun, and you can make one of those too. Isn't it cute? I used just a bunch of pinks and reds. I've mixed some grays, and I think my background is white. Yeah. So that was really fun to make and put together. So that is called my Hugs and Kisses quilt. I found it recently. I'm so glad. So I had to hang it up. It's time to decorate my studio for Valentine's Day. One of the things that I also wanted to share with you, since it is the new year, is that I'm going through my UFOs, right? A UFO can otherwise be known as an unfinished object. You know, I'm not sure what you quilters call it. I call it a UFO. Some people call it a WIP, like a work in progress. There's all sorts of things that we call these things that we start, but we haven't yet finished it for whatever reason. Maybe we ran out of time and had to put it up. Maybe we ran out of materials and needed to get more, but it's just not finished, right? And so we sometimes, I don't know if you're like me, but you might accumulate these things over the years. And I put a funny meme on Instagram the other day that said something about, you know, here in 2023, I'm going to be working on the projects that I was supposed to finish in 2022, that I purchased in 2021 for the supplies I found in 2020 for the pattern that I bought in 2019. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, it can get like that. So I have a pile of UFOs, but I like to keep them organized because maybe you are the same way. I like to eventually finish the things that I start, right? I mean, there's a reason that we cut this fabric. There's a reason we picked the pattern, you know, all of these things. And so I created a UFO list, and it's just a piece of paper, right? You don't even have to get this fancy, but this helps me, right? Because I'm going to have a color coding system. And the reason I have a color coding system is because, and this is backwards because we're using my phone and it's kind of mirroring, but anyway, I have all these little columns here, and there are, do I have the pattern, right? Like, what do you consider a UFO, right? Do you consider a UFO something that you bought a pattern? Some people do, so that's there. Do you consider a UFO if you bought the fabric for something? Maybe. Sometimes people don't consider it a UFO until they cut the fabric. So, you know, there's that. So we've got pattern, fabric, if we've cut it, if we've started piecing it, if it is pieced, have we assembled it? Because piecing and assembling is two different things, right? You could piece a block, but you haven't put the pieces together. So that's kind of the difference there. Do you have the backing made or purchased or whatever? Have you basted it? Have you quilted and bound it? So, you know, all the steps to finish a quilt. And so this is my UFO list, and I thought I'd share with you a couple things on it so that maybe we can fill this out a little bit together. So I like to keep my UFOs in a box, like a little storage container, and then I label them on the outside. That way, when I store them, I have I can quickly look and see where something is that I wanted to look at. You know, maybe I'll reference my list first, and then, okay, I retreat a lot. And whenever I retreat, I usually like to work on something that, maybe something new and something that is in my UFO pile. And so when I open up my UFO closet or area, then I can quickly look, you know, these things are kind of stacked, and I can quickly look, oh, there's that project, I'm going to take that. And inside of my little box here, I have everything that I either purchased, cut, already assembled, you know, the rulers that I'm using maybe are in there, things like that. It just really depends on how you want to organize your own UFOs. That's how I organize mine. And so in order to fill this out, I would look at, this one says orphan quilt blocks. That's pretty vague. I mean, because there's a lot of different blocks in this one, right? It's not maybe a project. These are just blocks that I've made over the years. And so without a purpose for them. Maybe I was just trying a new technique or trying a quilt block, you know, without a particular use in mind. Like here's a little sailboat quilt block that I made. I didn't make another one. I could make this into a pillow. I could make this into a wall hanging, you know, all sorts of things. Here's a leftover X block that didn't make it to the quilt, right? So I would consider these orphan quilt blocks. Here's a fun churn dash quilt block, right? So I have all these little, you know, they're just unfinished, unmarried orphan quilt blocks, all sorts in here. So I have a variety in here, but that's what is labeled, orphan quilt blocks. So I'm going to write that down. It's not necessarily a quilt that I've started. I do have another one over here that is a quilt that I have it called a Polaroid. There's two projects in here, it looks like. Polaroid mini quilt and gingerbread merriment pillows. So this is something that looks like two projects in one bin because maybe they're small, right? And I remember this UFO is kind of embarrassing, has been around for a while, but I just haven't done anything with it. And this is the Polaroid mini quilt. And so this is an Instagram swap that I participated in several years ago, back when I was swapping on Instagram, and they did this Polaroid swap. And I remember I had to keep the envelope. I got a block all the way from Singapore. It was so fun to do this. Her block is in here. Oh, that's her. Oh, here it is. It's like Japanese fabric or something. I don't know. It's very cool. Just fabric I've never seen. So the premise of this project was that, you know, you make 10 little blocks and then you ship it to whoever you're supposed to do. You remember those little chain things that we did back in the day? So there's all sorts of these cute little Polaroid blocks, and they're in the shape of a Polaroid picture. And so I have this project that I'm going to add to my UFO list because this will make one day an adorable mini quilt, right? Here's some old Tula. I think that's Tula. It looks like her coloring. I mean, there's just lots of cute fussy cutting happening here. So when I fill out my UFO form for this, and I like to color code things, let me put Miss Singapore back in her spot. I'm sorry, it's not from Singapore, it's from Indonesia. See? Anyway, isn't that cool? So this is my Polaroid quilt. And so I'm going to have an entry on here, and I'll just put project Polaroid quilt. And if you have a recipient in mind for a particular project, you can put that there. If you have a due date, you know, maybe that'll help you keep organized to know what you need to be working on next. That's the whole point of this, is just to kind of get organized. What do I have? What can I work on? And what stage is it in? And so, do I have a pattern? Somewhere there's a pattern. But I'm not going to make any more because I just need to put these together. Do I have the fabric? Yes. So I'll be coloring these in. Now I can choose a color for each column, right? I can choose red for the pattern, you know, blue for the fabric, whatever the case may be. And then I can easily just, like, from a distance, use color to see what I can work on. Like, what can I finish today? or what can I finish in a weekend at a retreat, you know, depending on the progress that I'm in. So for this one, I would say that I have the pattern, the fabric that it's cut and pieced, but it's not assembled, right? That would be a quick and easy finish. Like, why don't I do that today? I have other things going on today, but that might be something that I grab for the next retreat so that I can put that all together and then, you know, have a nice finish. So that's what'll be on my UFO list up top. And then I have in this box some fabric that I cut from Ginger Bird's, remember her fabric line where she had those cute animals for Christmas? I cut it out, or I don't know how I came upon the fabric. I don't think I purchased it. Or maybe I did. I don't know. But it's going to go on here too, so that I can say that I don't have a pattern, but I have the fabric and I have it cut. So anyway, so I use these bins. There's a variety of bins out there too. You can go to Costco. They have like the big 12 by 12 bins, which are nice. I do recommend that you label your bins. You know, if that means you use masking tape and a marker, then do that. I have this, let me show you. I have this handy dynamo labeler thing. I gave this to my husband a couple Christmases ago, and I said, this is for you, Merry Christmas. It's to help you stay organized. And he knew very well that this was a gift for me. But, you know, that's what happens when you're married for more than 20 years, I guess. For at least us it did. Anyway, I used this and I label those bins. I use this for other things as well, but it comes in handy for that. And then I also just, you know, have a random jar of colored pencils that I can use for things like that. So anyway, that is a really fun thing that you might consider doing for the New Year's to get organized with what you have by kind of taking an inventory of your current open projects, your WIPs, your works in progress, your UFOs, unfinished objects. You can go and download this piece of paper and it will be emailed to you, and you can also watch, I have another video about this quilt right here, which was the Hugs and Kisses quilt block. And so you can download the pattern to make the X and O block, which is a really simple sew. It's just a matter of placement on how you place those blocks. So let's see. I wanted to share one more thing. I do have a new program coming out this year. It's called Quilt Block Club. That is opening very soon. What it is, let me go get the quilt block real quick. I'm going to have you look at this, and I'm going to show you the first quilt block. Okay, so let me put this right here. This is a lot like the O block you see right there, right? With the exception that it has a heart in the middle. Isn't that cute? So this is just one of the blocks from the entire quilt. We're going to be making an entire quilt every month in the Quilt Block Club. This first one is called Modern Love, and this is one of the blocks from the new pattern. And so what's really fun about the Quilt Block Club is that you will get monthly exclusive patterns. Only members get first dibs on those patterns. And so this pattern called Modern Love, which features this block, will first be exclusively available to Quilt Block Club members. And then later on down the road, I'll open that up for my shop. But the Quilt Block Club members will get first access or first dibs to those patterns, which is really exciting. And then inside of the clubhouse, the Quilt Block Club house, which is an online community, you'll also have instructional video on how to make this pattern, not just the block, but the whole pattern. You will get emailed the entire quilt pattern. You will have instructional videos, access to those videos when you are a clubhouse member. And then you'll also get exclusive discounts for my online shop, where I sell kits and fabric where you can make this, or you can just use your own fabric or stuff from your stash, right? There's also going to be monthly quilty prizes. We have some amazing sponsors. We have the Daylight Company. We have Aliso Irons. We have, oh, there's more. There's so many fun sponsors that are stepping up and going to be giving us some fun things to consider and chances to win also every month. Let's see. It is only going to be $12 a month, or you can do $120 a year. It's whatever you want to do. And then those clubhouse doors will open up really soon. So I'm going to put a link in this video where you can sign up to be notified when those doors open. It's going to be really exciting, and be sure to get on the wait list for that because it's going to be so much fun. Anyway, I hope you guys have a new year that is full of quilty goodness, and consider making one of these quilts really quickly. I really literally made this in a week because it was so quick. This is the Hugs and Kisses quilt made with my Hugs and Kisses quilt block that's available. I'll link that in the description of this video. Also consider taking stock of what you currently have in your to-do list. Already started making a UFO or unfinished object list. That's really fun. And then also get on the wait list for the Quilt Block Club. It's going to be super fun. I can't wait to see you guys inside. One of my New Year's resolutions for this year, you guys, is to come live here every week. And so I picked Wednesday at 10 a.m. Central Time. I'm here in Kansas City. So I hope that I can keep this up. I hope that you can join me and be here with me live as I talk about what's going on coming up and what just happened. So I will see you here next week, if not sooner. Bye for now.